Hey guys, welcome back to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. My name is Janie, Charlot, your host, and it feels amazing to be back here sitting at this mic. We took a spring break, we took a vacation, and so we are definitely a part of creating balance, and that means including work and everything else. So the podcast took a break and we're back. I feel amazing. I feel energized. I feel revitalized. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about what's to come. And I'm excited about this episode. So I've been thinking about a lot of things. I have a lot of good things that's going to be coming up, a lot of different guests, going deeper on this podcast, because this is all about aligning our hearts with our minds. And I really love having soulful conversations that can inspire us to become the better version of ourselves, that can inspire us to do whatever we want to do. And sometimes we hear the testimonies and the stories of others to create that inspiration or that motivation for ourselves. So be patient. All of that is coming. On this particular episode today, I want to talk about continuous growth and overcoming self-limiting beliefs. And I think it's so important because as a soul, we are here to evolve continuously. And depending on how far you are in your own soul evolution, that you are immortal. This life, after this life, your soul continue on into the next journey, into the next life, and to complete that task there. And that we're all here in this earth classroom being teachers and students to each other. So I want to talk about continuous growth and how to overcome self-limiting beliefs, because sometimes life just really hands you a lot of lemons, okay? And the way the lemons are coming at you, you don't even have time to make the lemonade, because it's one lemon after the next. So I want to talk a little bit about how we continue growing during those tough times, and how do we overcome self-limiting beliefs. And I want everybody to know that everything I talk about when I come from a personal perspective on our podcast, this is definitely skills that I have learned through my own journey, through overcoming my own obstacles, through, stretching myself beyond my environment, beyond my beliefs, continuously growing to become the better and higher version of myself. And I'm going to tell you, it's no easy feat. It is purposeful. It's intentional. You have to want to do it. You have to want to grow. And you don't have to be in a constant growing state. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have a serious desire, something that you really want to achieve, then there is a way that you have to go about that, So let's talk about that. I want to start. There's a quote that says something like, "The future belongs to those that create it." And I so believe that, because if you cannot create your future, you end up repeating the past. You end up repeating the same cycles of the past. So the future belongs to those that create it. And we are creators. We are infinite spiritual beings. We are made in the image of the Most High Creator. Therefore, we are the creator. God is within us. It is not something outside of us. It is a heart posture. So it's all within you, and you are the creator, and you can create your future. So knowing that you can create your future is honestly the first step, because a lot of people feel like they are subject to their environment. They're subject to their circumstances. They're subject to the amount of money they have. They're subject to their past trauma and their past pain. And no, you are not. You can create your future, okay? So I wanted to say that quote because it's very powerful. So let's talk about, what are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are the things that you constantly tell yourself are the reasons that you constantly give yourself on something you cannot do. And they come in the form of thoughts, of actions, environment. So a limiting belief is, well, I'll never get the job that I want because I'm too old. I'll never, achieve the success that I want because of my skin color. I'll never, get that car or buy that house because I don't have the credit, or I don't have the amount of money in the bank. That's all limiting beliefs. Okay. That's all limiting beliefs. And those are the things that we really have to stop telling ourselves, first of all, but we have to stop thinking it, because the thoughts that you repetitively have, and most people, they have repetitive thoughts that are very unconscious all day long. And this is pretty much the pattern you start to live in your life. Okay. So those are limiting beliefs, and it could have anything to do with the environment. It could have anything to do with your self-talk. Self-talk is a huge one. All right. We're constantly downing ourselves or our dreams or our goals. And you have to stop doing that. And you have to be consciously aware when you are doing it. Take notice. Okay, I said something negative about myself. I need to not do that. And one big thing that really just jumps out at me is because the work that I do is weight management. I get a lot of people constantly saying, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. Well, okay, if you constantly telling yourself you're fat, that is what your body is hearing. That is what every cell in your body is hearing. And that is why you will look in the mirror and keep seeing that you're fat. You have to constantly say, I am healthy, I am thinning out, I am firming up, I love the way my clothes fit. Those are the things, positive self-talk that you have to tell yourself. Why should we speak to ourselves positively? Why should we do that? Because God is within you. All right. So when you're speaking to the God in you, you're not going to speak negatively. Not my God. My God does everything. My God is a healer, a transformer, a savior. My God is all of those things. So when I speak to myself, I'm speaking to the God in me. So I'm going to speak positively to that God within me. I'm not going to call the God that, protects me and provides for me and that loves me and, does all these things. I'm not going to call that God within me fat or, don't have enough or lack or whatever it is. I'm not going to do that. So the more we understand who we are internally as spiritual beings, the better our language can become, because words have power. And then we can start using our words correctly to affirm the things that we want and the life that we want. Okay. So that's self-talk. Limited thoughts. All right. Limited thoughts is when you're not expanding your thoughts on a constant basis or your vision beyond your everyday routine. Okay. You wake up, you turn on the news, you watch the weather for the day so that you know what clothes, or if you need to have an umbrella, then, you make your same cup of coffee, you eat your same toast. You get in your car, you drive the exact same route to work, then you go to your job and you work the exact same hours, you do the exact same repetitive thing at work. Your job is not challenging you. You're not growing anymore. You are stagnant in that same position. And then once that work day is over, you get back in your car, you drive that same route to work, you come back, you do your same evening routine. Okay. You're not expanding your thought processes beyond your same routine. And that's limited thoughts. And what happens is the brain cannot create new pathways. When the brain creates new pathways, it activates new neurons. All right. Activates new hormones in the brain so that new things can start downloading. You could have, something else. It gives the brain something to do. I think half of us use, I don't want to say half of us, but I want to say majority of people use less than 10% of the brain. Okay. So it's like you have to activate different things by getting out of the routine. All right. And when you get out of the routine, it causes you to think expansively beyond what you're constantly doing every day. All right. So limited thoughts. Also, the limited expectations that other people place on you. Okay. So perhaps you've had a friend, or you've had a parent, or you've even had, a significant other or a spouse limit what you can do. You may have this big dream and this big goal, and you're excited about it, and you tell them, and they're like, you can't do that. And then you feel crushed. And so they have just projected their limited beliefs of you on you. And now the thoughts that they're having, you now have it. So these are all limited beliefs, and we have to work beyond this. Okay. So I want to talk about, how do we prevent it? How do we get beyond limiting beliefs? This podcast is about, attacking issues, but also providing solutions. And that's what I really want to hone in. Okay. So first of all, we're going to discuss about 10 things on how you can overcome limiting beliefs. And I want you to think about this day by day, moment by moment. You could be mopping the floor and your child runs right where you just mopped the floor. How can you, respond differently? How can you change the limited belief that you would normally have, which means how would you have normally responded to that child? So day by day is you wanting to prevent limiting beliefs. So first of all, expect miracles each day. Okay. If you do not expect miracles, miracles cannot happen. So you have to expect miracles every day. When you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, you open your eyes, list those things that you are grateful for. List 5 to 7 non-physical things that you are grateful for. I do this religiously. It just sets me in the right tone for that day. You also affirm, I am open to miracles. I am receiving the miracles today. And the miracles may not come dramatic, but it may be, you were short on your gas money and a coworker sent you a card and gave you extra $50. And now you have the extra part for your gas money. Is those miracles. If we're not watching out for it, we don't know that the miracles are happening. So we have to be attuned, first of all, with what we're seeking. And then second of all, when it comes to us, we have to know, whoa, that was a miracle. Okay. So the things that you are affirming and that you are believing in, you have to affirm it and know, and also be aware when it happens. Miracles are not always big miracles. We hear about medical miracles. People were paralyzed and then now they're not, or people were near death and now they're not. But we also need to appreciate the very small miracles that we see every day. All right. You're in thought and you're thinking about your loved one that passed away, and all of a sudden a yellow butterfly passed, or a red bird comes. Those are miracles. And we have to acknowledge that. When we acknowledge the small miracles in our life, the bigger miracles can come. Okay. The other thing, keep the vision of what you want at the forefront of your mind. Okay. And that is so important, because this allows you to keep that vision. If you are envisioning a brand new car, you need to keep that vision at the forefront of your mind every day. All right. So if you're driving, all of a sudden you're driving, you might see the same car that you want drive past you. Those are little ways that you can keep the vision in your forefront. Do your research on whatever it is that you are wanting and believing to happen. Get beyond just waiting for something. That's how you get beyond the limits of belief, you keep the vision at the forefront and you actively do things to keep that vision at the forefront. Research on whatever it is, look at photos, inquire questions, people that have already done the things that you're trying to get, speak to them about their journey on how they got to it. That's how you keep the vision at the forefront of your mind. All right. Be very consciously aware of your thoughts, your words, and your actions every day. All right. That's so important. That's how you prevent limiting beliefs. Most of us don't even realize that it's in our thoughts, but a lot of us are speaking it. So when you notice that you are speaking ill, or something negative, you need to immediately correct that. Hey, I rebuke what I just said. I'm not going to say that again. And then you affirm it in a positive way. Okay. I cannot stress enough, develop a positive relationship with yourself. That is so important. It is the God in me and the God in you. And that is what we have to develop. That is the relationship that we really have to develop. And when you develop that relationship, it becomes a very loving relationship. And so you're not going to speak ill of yourself. You're not going to speak down on yourself. You're going to love yourself. You're going to speak lovingly of yourself. And I can't stress enough, when you have that relationship with yourself, that is your inner God. That is your God. It is your inner God. God is within you. And that is your soul. That is where you're speaking. So that is what you have to speak to and affirm to and develop that relationship, which is with yourself. And sometimes that's alone time. Sometimes it's sitting in nature quietly. Sometimes it's, just listening to music. Sometimes it's, praise music. Sometimes it's, listening to a sermon. It's different ways, but you want to develop that relationship with your inner self, because that is where the power is. All right. Speak well, speak good over your dreams and your goals. And when you notice that you're not speaking well or good, please correct that speech or correct that talk immediately. Surround yourself with people that are already in the vibration of the things that you want to achieve. Okay. If you can't see what you want, for example, if I want to become a lawyer, I would tap into some of the friends that I know that are attorneys. Hey, where did you go to school? Do you like what you do? What's the biggest thing that you love? If you had to do it all over again, would you take this same route? What are some different aspects of being an attorney? What are the best law schools? These are things that you want to ask and tap into people who are already in that vibration of what you're trying to achieve. Okay. And you'll learn how they move, how they think, how they act, and what they did to achieve, where they are. And that's very important to tap into resources. All right. I think is so important. Be open-minded. I cannot say that enough. You want to be teachable and you want to be coachable. Okay. If I am a new nurse, okay, and I have, I've never had this is my first full-time job, and I am in a hospital floor, and I am being taught by new nurses. This is the time that I should be listening and observing. Okay. I am in a student role. And again, I said earlier, we're all being teachers and students to each other. You have to know when you're the teacher and you have to know when you're the student. So if you're in a new job, you're now the student. You're learning the roles. Okay. And sometimes where you came from, you might be seasoned and you're skilled, but where you came from, the operations are different at this new place. So you still are now the student because you're in a new situation. So know when you are the student and know when you're the teacher. And that's why I say be open-minded, is because your way of doing something over here, and now you're in a new situation, it may not be the way they're doing it over here. All right. Be open-minded, observe it, listen, pay attention. Now, you may be able to contribute some skill sets or something that can make how they operate over here better. But in time, you'll be able to inject those opinions. But when you're first tapping into something, you have to know that you're the student. You have to take in the information. You have to take in information that and leave out what does not resonate with you, but you have to take it in and see how that fits with you. Okay. And sometimes it doesn't happen the moment you hear something. Just like this podcast, just like this episode, I'm saying things and I want you to take it in, let it resonate, go within your soul, and what fits like the truth, take it. What you feel does not fit like the truth for you, then disregard it. And that's what I mean by being open-minded. We have to know that we don't know everything. We are constantly growing. We're all really students, but some of us have mastered certain aspects of things. And you're going to have students coming along because they're on their journey of mastering the aspect that you just mastered. So help them out, give them tools, give them jewels, give them things that they need in a very loving way, okay? Not in a condescending, not in a way that you know it all, but in a way that's going to inspire them, even provoke them. A little jewel. Sometimes I'll have people that'll call me and, they want to, get my opinion on something. And I'll just give them a little nugget or a little twist so that they can start thinking about it in a different way. And not that I'm even giving them the answer to their solution. I'm just twisting it a little so that they could think about it in a different way and then come up with their own solution. All right. Because the truth is already within us. We have to search the truth for ourselves. No one else can give us that truth. Is within us. We can all help and guide each other into finding what that truth is for ourselves. All right. So be open-minded, be teachable, and be coachable. Listen and observe. Okay. I also want to say, I did say know when you are the teacher versus know when you're a student. That's so important, especially now as we are all witnessing a great awakening right now. We have so many people that are awakening to the amazing skill sets within themselves and the freedom and the God and goddesses that's within themselves. And it's like, we're all tapping into new territory for some, but for some, they've been down this road years, so I like listening to a lot of the older people that's been down some of the roads that I've gone down because they've been there. So that's all. Know when you're the teacher, know when you're the student. And we're all going to play the roles of student and teacher, okay? Over and over and over again. All right. And that's the beauty of growth. That's the beauty of evolution, is learning and growing and teaching, learning and growing and teaching, learning and growing and teaching. And I think when we can adapt that, it becomes fun. It becomes fun to learn and to grow and to stretch yourself. All right. Be aware of distractions. Oh, this is a big one. Okay. Distractions are going to be everywhere on your journey. Okay. Be aware of distractions. This is how you can overcome limiting beliefs. Okay. Perhaps you're on a journey, you're trying to finish medical school, you're trying to start a business, you're trying to grow your business if you've already started one, you're trying to do a lot of different things. And you're going to have distractions. So distractions may come in the form of a friend that come and say, I don't really like that you're doing that. if there's something, if there is something God planted within your heart, a good work, and you no doubt know that this is something that you should be doing, do it. Don't allow anyone to stop you from doing anything. All right. That's a distraction. Also, be careful with attaching yourself in relationships with people that are not growing in the same direction. It's so important that you develop a tribe. And this is in friendships, and this is also in intimate relationships that are growing with you, because a lot of times our relationships are the biggest distractions. You may be trying to lose 10 pounds and you're not trying to go out and eat hot wings and alcohol, but your friends is not on the same diet, and they're wanting you to go and have wings and a few drinks and stuff like that. And if you've said, hey, I'm on a diet, I'm just going to chill tonight, and they keep trying to get you to go, they're not respecting your goals. They're not respecting where you're trying to be. A good friend is going to try to encourage you, hey, I'm just inviting you. I know you're on this diet. I know you may not want to come, but I just wanted to invite you anyway. You tell that friend no, that friend still loves you anyway. All right. That's another distraction. All right. Be very careful with energy of others around you. Okay. Because most people don't realize all they're doing is emoting the energy and the thoughts that they're feeling within them. So sometimes people may be around you and their energy is just horrible. It's negative. There's nothing good that they have to say or to add to anything that you're doing or saying. And sometimes that can be very discouraging, because sometimes you feel like, gosh, am I the only one that, is trying to do this thing and trying to be positive about this? And, just, it's a distraction. Just stay within yourself and know that you can control everything within yourself, including your emotions and how you feel. Distractions. So be very, very, very cautious of distractions. Okay. Distractions come in all forms. And, we got to, I just want to say, just be careful, distractions such as just even drugs and, things like that is a lot of distractions right now that's pulling for our attention. Even distractions in the media, advertisements, commercials, even different things that people are putting out. It's distractions. If it does not align with who you are, with where you're trying to go, and with the version of yourself you're trying to create, it is a distraction. All right. So even things on social media and in the media, commercials, advertisement, you have to be really, really careful. Distractions. Okay. Things should be in alignment with who you are on a soul level. It should be in alignment with what you represent. It should be in alignment with where you're trying to go and who you're trying to be. All right. And what you're trying to represent. All right. I also want to say, just don't be afraid to grow. Okay. Don't be afraid to grow. You can be whoever you want, whenever you want to be it, and for however long you want to be it. That is the beauty of free will. God has given us all free will, and you have the choice to grow. Don't feel that you're ever stuck, ever, in a job, in a relationship, in a situation, in a town, in a state, in a country. You can grow and change and do and be whatever you want, whenever you want to be it. Okay. So don't be afraid to grow. See it as a challenge. See it, take it on in a fun way. See it just as just a new version of yourself. All right. And don't be afraid to let go of the old things to get that new thing. Okay. Because you can't hold on to the old, still trying to get the new. You got to let go of the old. All right. And I think that's the biggest thing that most people fall into fear. All right. They fear losing the old thing, but still want the new thing. And I'm gonna give you an example. I see it a lot in people who are changing relationship statuses a lot. Maybe they're going from single to married. And, the married phase is like a big fear because their single life was amazing and they enjoyed it and it was great and they love this person. They want to marry this person, but there's a huge fear. Oh, it's going to change. And, the divorce rate and this and that. You cannot do all that. You have to know what you want. And if there's any fear from going from this to that, you have to check that fear, because what could happen is that fear could actually manifest itself and then you will end up staying single. All right. So just check your fear. Don't be afraid to grow. Okay. And it's okay to let go of the things that no longer serve you, the things that you no longer have an affinity to. Perhaps, you used to love to eat ice cream. Now you can't do dairy. It's okay. Like, don't be afraid to let things and people and habits fall off, as the only way you can have a continuous growth into the better and better version of yourself. All right. I also want you to know that you actually have the power to choose. Some people don't even know that they could make a choice. Like, oh, I didn't know I could choose that. Yeah, you could choose that. You have a choice. And there's infinite possibilities. There's infinite ways that it could work out. All right. In order to get to the infinite ways, you have to connect to yourself, connect to spirit, ask spirit to show you those infinite ways. But there's infinite ways that things could pan out, ways that you yourself individually could never, ever, ever understand or ever think of. But when you tap into spirit, into your inner God, and you're one with source, you will tap into infinite possibilities. Like, whoa, okay, it could happen that way. Man, I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh, that's happening too. Like, infinite possibilities, literally infinite possibilities. All right. So you have the power to choose. I just want you guys to know that. And the last thing is that continuous growth requires faith and a lot of perseverance. All right. It requires you making a conscious effort to want to be better, to want to be a better person, to want to do better, to want to respond better, to want to be a better person to the community, to want to be a better parent, to want to be a better sibling. It requires a conscious effort. So it requires a lot of faith. But faith is just believing and knowing that I can do this. I can grow. I can change. I can have whatever I want. I just have to tap into it, into myself, and know. And it takes a lot of perseverance. I'm not here to say that, attaining anything is easy. It requires a lot of work. It requires focus, right? Not being strayed by distractions. It requires expanding yourself and your thoughts and just really overcoming fear, walking in a fearless energy and not fear. Not being afraid to leave your hometown, not being afraid to leave, even your side of the city. Not being afraid to get on an airplane or get on a ship or go somewhere and go on the other side of the country or go, out of the country for that fact. You just have to expand and walk in a fearless state in order to have continuous growth. Now, sometimes we may, get to a point where we've grown and now we're at a resting state. And that's okay. Like, rest and being in the present moment and, totally engulfed in the new you that you've become is totally okay. I think you have to have those motions, but I think that you cannot be stagnant and then look out and feel lack. Because that is what a lot of people do. They feel lack in themselves, lack in their ability, and haven't mastered how to continually grow by overcoming limiting beliefs. All right. So that is all I have for this podcast. I just really wanted to talk about that, get that out. It was fresh on my mind. And I think that we all can benefit from how to overcome limiting beliefs and expand our growth and have continuous evolution and continuous growth. All right, guys, that is a wrap. My name is Janie Charlot, host of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. And I just want to remind everyone that Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast is inspired by love, God, relationships, spirituality, justice, culture, family, children, finances, freedom, personal growth, energy and vibrations, universal principles, health, education, masculine and feminine energies, music, and all things of the heart and soul. We appreciate you guys so much. Please like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. It's been a wonderful journey. We love sharing and we love growing with you all. And we will see you guys at the next episode. Take care.